We have a great video for you folks today, and in this video, we're going to be breaking down the 2026 offseason. A lot of moves that the Lions got to make in regards to free agents, cap space, the draft, players we got to let go because of cap ramifications, and there's a lot to talk about in this video. So that's what we're going to get into for sure. But before we do that, the Lions are facing the Steelers on Sunday in a massive game for the playoffs. Lions right now are a 7-point favorite. It is a 425 game at Ford Field. The total over is 50.5. This is going to have to be a game that the Lions must win. It is a must-win game if you want the Detroit Lions to make the playoffs. Look, if the Lions lose, this video becomes a lot more relevant to a lot of Lions fans, but we don't want that because we want to make a trip to the playoffs, at least I do. And so for the Lions to do that, they got to win. And they should win this game. Look, the Lions haven't lost in back-to-back since 2022. The Lions lost. I thought the offense did pretty well. The defense looked chewed up. Aaron Rodgers is not Matthew Stafford at this point. I have the Lions winning this game. But again, it is a must-win game. It is the game they have to win. If they lose, you could just call this season over. You could just call it a wrap at that point. So, Dan Campbell, the players know this, and they're going to be fighting their tail off this Sunday for the game. Who do you got winning the game? Do you got the Lions winning the game, or do you got the Steelers winning the game? L for Lions, S for Steelers. Okay, let's get into this offseason video and the current free agents because we have a lot to talk about, and it's going to be a tough offseason. Why do I say it's going to be a tough offseason? Look at the Lions cap space right now. It's not that good. We have the 23rd best cap space in 2026. We need to have better than that. That's not good, right? And we got a ton of free agents. Dead cap hits, not too bad. Mid-brown total. We have a lot of cap, right? We just signed all these players, as we know. So Lions do not have a lot of cap space to work with. They don't. So they have a lot of decisions to make in regards to releasing players, in regards to changing the cap to get it fixed, restructuring contracts, and the current free agents. So we're going to go through all of that. I'm going to talk about 4 players that the Lions potentially could cut to help the cap. But the first thing to help the cap here is reducing Jared Goff's contract. Right now his cap hit is $69.6 million. I can guarantee you that's not what it's going to be. Start of the season, they'll reduce this cap maybe $30 million, 20, 25, $30 million. So expect to get some cap relief there. That'll most definitely help the Lions out. And there could be more restructures that occur in other contracts for sure. But the main one that it has to be, the main contract that's got to be restructured is the Jared Goff contract to give a massive amount of cap relief. And that would really help the Lions out to sign players that we need to help this team out. And you're going to see the massive list of players who are free agents, and you're going to be shocked. But before we get into that, a shout out to the sponsor of today's video. I'm super excited for Christmas. Not only am I going to have my family here, and we're going to open up presents, and my kids are going to be happy, but we're going to eat really, really well with Omaha Steaks, because I'm a huge fan of Omaha Steaks. They're my go-to option for holiday dinners, and they are the absolute perfect Christmas gift. From effortless holiday hostings to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. With Omaha Steaks, you know exactly what you are getting. USDA-certified tender steaks, premium proteins, elegant sides, and decadent, indulgent desserts. Shop this season's top gourmet gifts at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with the code LIONS at checkout. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety at every bite that is backed by their 100% guarantee. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. Omaha Steaks delivers an exclusive lineup of USDA-certified tender steaks and their fan-favorite filet mignon that have the distinction of USDA-certified very tender. So save big money on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off using the Lions code at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code LIONS. Link is going to be in the description and comment section of this video. So again, a lot of restructures can happen right there to help a little bit out. But let's jump into the free agents of 2026, and then we're going to get into my cut candidates here. So the Lions have a lot of change coming to the roster next year. Here's just, we're going to go through the whole list of free agents, and there's a lot of big names on this bad boy, and a lot of these guys are probably not going to be back. DJ Reader and Alex Anzalone, and Kalif Raymond, they won't be back. Levi Onwuzurike won't be back. Marcus Davenport won't be back. Joshua Paschal will be gone. Why is that? Well, there's injuries. We've had injuries. We've had contract disputes with Alex Anzalone. He is older. He's probably want to get paid. We've seen it in the offseason. He wants to get a bigger paycheck. Well, we're not in that position right now to do that. And players like Joshua Paschal hasn't been healthy. They can't stay healthy. He's a young Marcus Davenport. So these are issues for the Lions right now. I mean, we could be getting, well, I'd like to have Grant Stuard back, Avonte Maddox, little guys. Roy Lopez was cool to have. Amik Robertson's a big decision for them. We'll see what they do. Al-Quadin Muhammad, I like him back. Name a free agent you want to return in the comments right now. Any free agent. Give me a name. Let's continue on with the list of free agents because that's just half of them. Here's the other half here. Kayode Awosika, who's been a backup guard for the Lions for a while. Kyle Allen, the backup quarterback. Zach Cunningham has played well. Ezekiel Turner. I'd like to have Rock Ya-Sin back. I don't think it's going to cost you a whole lot. Shane Zylstra. We've been having Sam Laporta hurt. Brock Wright-Port hurt. Trevor Nowaski. Malcolm Rodriguez. I expect him to be back. But it's going to cost these guys money to bring these guys back. You don't think that Malcolm Rodriguez is going to get some interest from other teams? He'll get some interest from other teams. A young linebacker that's pretty darn good. So the Lions, they really got to contemplate on how they're going to do this, right? How are they going to manage the cap? With the cap space that they currently don't have is a lot. And a lot of free agents. So that means players are going to have to, get cut. And before we get into the cut candidates, they also got to look at this, right? The big four. They don't have to necessarily sign these guys to a new contract this year. But you've seen how the Lions do with contracts. They do it the year before. Here's the one. We know Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get paid. I do believe Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell get big paychecks. Sam Laporta and Brian Branch, it's a little bit question mark here. Both got injured. And with the minimal amount of cap space, could the Lions just pick one of those guys? Could they go two? Since they got injured, could the contracts be lower and help the Lions out? That could be a positive thing. But we don't know at this point. In other ways, obviously, to replenish talent is the current draft picks that the Lions have. And we could be adding a fourth, right? Because of the DJ Reed free agent debacle with the injury and then him hardly playing any time. So we could get in an extra draft pick right there. But that's the options right now for the Lions in regards to replenishing talent and helping out cap space. But there's players currently on this roster that the Lions may need to cut to help out. And look, I got a list of 4. One I do not want to get cut, but potentially could be. One will get cut. And the other 2 are good options to reduce that issue. So, what players is he going to bring back? The lower deals right, of the free agents. That's the best way to go. And hopefully it hit the draft right. Then, of course, we got to talk about players that could cut. You know, there's a couple players that we could reduce the cap space to help that out as well, to reduce that down. But before we do that, we're less than 1.5 away from 100,000. Hit that sub button. We're getting very, very close. All right, we jump to the candidates here. Let's go into it. And the first one that I got here is going to be David Montgomery. Now, I do not want the Lions to cut him, but he is a cut candidate. Why is that? 29 years old, heading into 2026. He's got a year remaining on his deal. His current salary is about $10.2 million. If the Lions were to cut him, they can save around $5.2 million in cap space, and so that could be an option for the Lions to reduce cap. Yeah, you don't have Knuckles, but you have some money. And Craig Reynolds left. Maybe they want to save some money that way. A player who I will 100% believe is going to get cut, that's Graham Glasgow, 33 years old, heading into the 2026, right? If he's got 1 year left on his deal, and that's $8.4 million. If the Lions were to cut him, they can save nearly $5 million. It's only dead cap hit of 2.8. That one seems like he is on his way out in Detroit. Now, other cut candidates that I have here is a little bit different, not necessarily the money, but because of lack of production. Mekhi Wingo is going to be on this list. He hasn't done anything. Have you even seen him on the field? No. It's not going to save the Lions much, but it'd save them around $900,000 if they were to cut Mekhi Wingo. Khalil this year for Detroit. He is 28 years old. He's got 1 year left on his contract. That's 3.3. If the Lions were to cut him, they can save, I don't know, maybe $1.5 million because his dead cap hit is only $150,000. So it's not much. So, look, I would not want to have Montgomery cut, but if the Lions are trying to save money and we're in a cap situation, that could be a player to get it done. Graham Glasgow, I think we all would love to see cut. So, give me your thoughts about this. What do you think the Lions going to do? Adios.